Okay, so it's 10 a.m. in the clock and now it's time for the virtual lab session. Hi, this is Nidhi Goswami welcoming you all in a live and interactive session which you're watching at eVidya channel number 6 to 12 and on our official YouTube channels which are NCERT Official and NCERT eVidya class 6 to 12. So let me give you a brief what are virtual labs, so why do we need them? So a virtual lab is an online platform that simulates a real world lab environment and experience. It lets students and researchers conduct experiments and perform procedures on a computer and on any other device without needing physical equipment or a dedicated lab space. This is absolutely a revolution, and the key features that the virtual lab have: practice without any risk. You can assess those expensive equipment and learn from anywhere. And today what we are going to study, let me give you a brief over that as well. So we are going to pick class 9 subject biology, and the topic that we are going to consider for today's session is demonstration of simulation on comparison of monocot and dicot plants. And to proceed this procedure in the virtual lab, to proceed this experiment here with me on virtual lab as an expert, I am having in the studio Miss Nidhi Adlakha, who is a senior academic consultant at CIET NCERT New Delhi. Ma'am, a very warm welcome.
Namaskar, thank you.
Okay, so before we proceed this session with Nidhi ma'am, here's a piece of information for all our viewers, and that is, if you have any question regarding the session, you can directly call us on our phone number, and our phone number is actually flashing on your screen, and that is 8800440559. With that, if you want to give us any feedback, any suggestion which is important for us, so you can directly write us on our mail ID, which is diksha.training@ciet.nic.in. And as I mentioned, our YouTube channels in the beginning of the session, so you can directly ask your questions in the live chat box. Live chat box facility is available there. So don't hesitate, ask your questions because that's mandatory. Okay, so now it's time to proceed the session. Now it's time to take up this session with Nidhi ma'am. And Nidhi ma'am, first question that I would like to ask from you, that what we are going to discuss in today's session, give us an overview of that. Firstly, that I just want you to give us an overview, like what we are going to perform, what we are going to discuss, what are the readings that we are going to record today. That all I want to know in a brief.
Okay, so today we are going to talk about comparison of monocots and dicots. So usually when a lay person, when any one of us go out, so usually what do we think, that all the plants are same, but is it a reality? No, it's not. So all the plants are not same. We have a variety of plants around us, and today we are going to take up angiosperms, which is one of the categories of plants, which is which are flowering plants, and they are divided into two categories, monocotyledon and dicotyledon. How we can differentiate between them just by looking at certain features like their leaves, stem, root, flowers. So we usually observe them, but we never observe them in the way that we can differentiate between them. So today we will discuss those features, and by that all of you will be able to notice that yes, we have a variety of plants, and how they are different. You will be able to differentiate between them also, and you will understand that all the plants are not same.
Absolutely, that all the plants are not same. We are going to compare these plants on the basis of monocot and dicot. That we'll know from Nidhi ma'am. But Nidhi ma'am, we're gonna perform this experiment in virtual lab. Today's our session is based on virtual lab. So where do we find these virtual labs, and what are the other resources where we can find them easily?
Okay, so we find virtual labs on the portal, on the Diksha portal, and for that I'll show you how to reach Diksha portal and how to navigate. So here you simply need to write Diksha. First of all, you will write Diksha. When I have written Diksha, automatically it took diksha.gov.in. So that's the URL of the Diksha portal. Here you can see that the portal is visible. When we scroll down, you can see focus areas of Diksha. So here, although these auto scroll, but here we have certain pointers also. I have clicked on the fourth one, and we have reached at virtual labs. So we have to click on this, and we have reached at the landing page of virtual labs. When we scroll down, you can see that the information about the about virtual labs is provided. You can go through that, and then further you can scroll down to go through the resources which are there available for different subjects and for different classes from 6th to class 12th. So today we are taking up class 9th. So I am clicking on explore icon of class 9th. Here you can see we have Hindi medium and English medium, but right now content is available for English medium, and for other medium also the content will be available soon. So I'll click on English medium. You can see that the subjects have appeared for which activities are there. I am clicking on science. So here it is asking me to log in. So if you are reaching Diksha for the first time in your day, you have to log in once in a day. And if you have never visited Diksha, you have to first of all register yourself. So here you can see register here option is there, where you have to add basic information about yourself, your name, your email address and so on. And after registering yourself, what you can do is you can just write the saved email address like I am putting, and then you have to write the password which you have entered while registering. So we have reached at the science page of class 9th. So now you can see that I have directly opened that experiment which we are going to discuss today, that is comparison of monocots and dicots. So first of all, the first resource we have is the PDF of NCERT lab manual, which you must be having as a hard copy, but sometimes we require soft copy of the same, so that's why it is available here. So you can go through the PDF also, you can go through the photographs, diagrams which are there, the observation table, they are you are expected to add data in, and then after that you have to scroll down. When you scroll down, you can see that other resources are also there. I have clicked on this one. So here we have another link. So here we have videos also, you can go through these videos also, or we can directly go to that link as well. So you can see that the basic information about the experiment is given, and they are also talking about that there are diverse plants which we can study through our naked eyes. So if the internet is slow, then this buffering will be observed. We are going forward, and here you have this link. You have to click on this link to reach the other resources. We are going to watch video here also, that's why I jumped onto the next resource on the previous page. So this is how we have navigated to the virtual lab resources. Then Nidhi was asking that what all resources we have with us at virtual lab. So first of all we have theory, then procedure, you can watch video also. So before performing any experiment, you should have the basic information related to that experiment, and especially in this case it will be really difficult for you to perform simulation if you will not go through theory. So you can go through these three resources before performing simulation, and after performing simulation you can check how much you have understood by performing self-evaluation. So we will first of all study theory. So when we scroll down here, you can see that as I had talked about, that we are going to talk about angiosperms today. So the meaning of angiosperms is given, and then further there are different parts of plants which you have studied from your junior classes, that is seeds, roots, leaves, stem, flower, pollen, grain. So all these are different from each other when we are talking about monocots and dicots. So first of all, starting from seeds. So in the seed we have cotyledons and monocotyledon and dicotyledon. So mono means one, di means two. So that means monocots have one cotyledon in their seed and dicots have two cotyledons in their seed, and that's why they have named so. So this is how you can remember. Then further, the roots, how the roots appear. So in case of dicots, the root system you will observe will be tap root, but in case of monocot you will find that there are adventitious roots. So in the tap root you have a main root in the middle, and then you have further small secondary lateral roots arising from that main root. But in case of adventitious roots, you have multiple roots coming out from the same place. So this is how the roots are different in case of monocots and dicots. But yes, to observe roots you have to pull the plant outside and it will not be a good option. So rather than observing roots in reality, when you will be observing it around you, it is better to observe the other features where you are not going to harm the plant and still you will be able to differentiate between monocots and dicots. So moving forward to leaves. For observing leaves, you do not require to pull the plant outside out of the soil. So in case of, there are two differences. First of all, in case of dicots, the leaf has a stalk, but in case of monocot, the leaf do not have a stalk. So leaves are sessile, they are directly connected with the center point from where they are arising. There is no stalk in between. And the other difference is venation. You must be thinking that it is not visible. So here you can see that in case of dicots, here you can see there is a stalk, but in case of monocot, this is part of leaf only. So in case of monocot, you do not have a stalk. This is how they are different. Another point in case of leaves is that they have the venation, the veins which are there on the leaves for the transfer of material inside the leaf. Their pattern is different. Here you can see that in case of monocots, the venation is in a straight line parallel to each other, but in case of reticulate, in case of dicots, there is reticulate venation. That means there is crisscross venation. You do not have veins in parallel fashion. So this is how you can very easily differentiate between. You must have seen leaves of a banana plant. Have you seen banana plant?
Yeah.
So have you ever noticed that the leaves of banana plant have parallel venation? Have you ever noticed?
I haven't noticed it.
Yes, because when we do not have information, we don't even bother to notice such minute things.
Yeah.
So now, because we are talking about these features, I hope Neve and other viewers will also definitely going to observe these features, and they will be able to differentiate between that. Yes, if I am observing banana plant, then it is a monocot, and if I am observing neem plant, so that is a dicot, because the venation on the leaves is reticulate, and in case of banana, the venation is parallel. And is it really difficult to differentiate between them just by looking at the leaves?
Definitely not. Yes. After knowing this, so definitely not.
Yes, yes. So moving forward to the next feature, that is flowers. So when the flowers appear, we can differentiate these plants on the basis of flowers as well. So in case of monocots, the sepals and petals are either 3 or multiples of 3. But in case of dicots, these parts of flower, that is sepals and petals, are either 4 or multiple, either 4 or 5 or multiples of 4 or 5. Then the other thing which we will talk about is vascular bundle. So we require vascular bundle for the transportation of water and nutrients. So these vascular bundles are scattered in case of monocots, but in case of dicots, the vascular bundles are arranged as rings. So here you can see they are arranged as rings in case of dicots, but in case of monocots you can see they are scattered throughout the stem. The last thing which we can discuss about the difference between monocots and dicots is the structure of pollen grain. So in case of monocots, the pollen grain has a single pore. So a pollen grain has pore for pollen tube formation. So there is only a single pore when you are talking about monocot, but in case of dicots, there are 3 pores present on the pollen grain for the formation of pollen tube. So here, if you have noticed, we have talked about 5 to 6 differences between monocots and dicots, and most of them you can observe just by looking at them without even disturbing them, and you do not even require microscope to observe most of these characters. So let's move forward to procedure.
Okay.
So now here they have taken 2 plants, one is a monocot, that is orchid plant. Another one is hibiscus, that is a dicot plant. So first of all, real lab procedure is given that you have to collect these two plants or any monocot and dicot, and you have to observe all the features which we have just now discussed in theory and compare them. Then in case of simulator, which we are going to talk about here, multiple plants and their features will be shown, and we have to match them up as per the other features. So you will understand it better when I'll show you how simulation can be performed. Before that, here we have an observation table. So you can also draw observation table in this way, that these are the features which you are noticing, and you can write the name of the plant which you are collecting and then write which plant has which particular feature. So this is how you can record your data, and once you record your data, then only you will be able to conclude that if I have collected a banana plant and a chickpea plant, so after comparing their features, then only I'll be able to say that banana plant is a monocot and the chickpea is a dicot plant. So let's move forward. We will first of all quickly have a look on the video. I'll just jump on. You can go through when you will be studying. So here you can see that different plants are shown and they are talking about the same what we have just now discussed. So watching video will definitely increase your interest in the topic. So along with studying other resources, you should also go through the video. So now we will go to simulation. Here you can see that there is a plant, and then here certain options of routes is provided, and the instruction which is written here is drag and place the corresponding route for this plant from the left side pane. So what we have to do, we have to observe this plant, and after noticing certain features like flower, if it is visible clearly, and the leaf venation also, and then we have to choose which route should be suitable here. Since here the leaves have they do not have parallel venation, they have reticulate venation, and if you look at the flower, you can see that there are 5 petals. So 5 petals are found in dicots. Reticulate venation is also found in dicots. That means this plant is a dicot. And as we have studied, the dicot plants have tap root system. So out of these 4 photographs, this is the tap root. So I will take it and try to attach, and you can see it got attached. So that means we have studied well. That's why I was saying that if you will not go through theory part, you will not be able to perform this simulation. So now we will click on next, and here we have another plant. Here we have root. What we are supposed to drag here is the flower. So for dragging flower, we first of all have to notice this plant. So this plant has adventitious root system and the leaves have parallel venation. So that means this is a monocot. And monocots have flowers with 3 sepals or petals, and out of them only this one is matching. So we will take this, and you can see it got arranged. If I would have chosen another one, it would not have got arranged. I'll show you how. Here they are saying that we have to drag and place the corresponding stem vascular bundle through which water and nutrients are transported throughout the plant. So for selecting from these options, first of all we have to observe. So what do we have here? We have adventitious root system and parallel venation. So that means, right, very good. So that means this should be the correct answer. So let's see if we choose the wrong answer. It didn't arrange. So if it is not arranging, that means this is not the right answer, and this is sorry, one second, this has got arranged, that means this is the right answer. So in case of monocots, we have scattered vascular bundles, and that's why this is the correct option. Now we are going to the next one. Here we have got the same thing, so because we have just performed this, we are skipping this. So here it seems that this is same, but the plant is different. Although we are supposed to select the vascular bundle, but the plant here is different. If we look at the roots, here we can observe that the roots are taproot system and the leaves have reticulate venation. That means this is a dicot plant. And dicots have they have vascular bundles arranged in the form of ring. So we will take this one. So this is how you are checking your knowledge also, and you are able to observe also. So what is happening, your observation skills are also improving. You are able to observe different parts of the plant, and then you are comparing, and then you are relating the other parts which are missing. So this is how you are just remembering also that what all features are there of monocots and of dicots. So you are not required to remember, actually automatically you are able to utilize this information just by reading theory. So here you can see that we have again adventitious root system, and then flower which have 6 petals, and in case of monocots we have petals either 3 or multiples of 3, and the leaf should have parallel venation. These do not have parallel venation, so we will try this one and see it got arranged. So again this is the same one, we are skipping this. This is also the same. Okay, now pollen grains. So here we have taproot system and the leaves are reticulate in venation. If you remember, we talked about in theory that pollen grains of monocots have single pollen pore through which pollen tube arises. But in case of dicots, we have 3 pores. So because this is a dicot, that's why, which one should we choose? The one
Number
which has
4?
3. Yes. So we are choosing this one, and this is the correct option. So again here we will try this one only, and then we will go to self evaluation. So here you can see this is taproot system, and because it is taproot system, it is a dicot, and out of these 4 options this is the one which has reticulate venation. So let's try this one, and it got arranged. So this is how you can practice different plants, features of different plants, and you will be able to differentiate between them very easily.
Absolutely, like we distinguish them on the basis of their appearance, and that's how we distinguish them in the category of monocot and dicot. Ma'am, but one more thing that I just want to know, I'm curious to know, that as you have said that there are some identities that we can actually have them while we are in a playground or in a garden. Is this possible for a teacher to tell their students like what they can like how they can distinguish a plant, whether it's monocot or dicot, how they can do it?
Yes, as we have just discussed in theory also, and while performing simulation also, we have talked about that there are different features which we can compare and find out which one is a monocot and which one is a dicot. So after going through this theory part and watching the video and then performing the simulation also, then a teacher can show the specimens of the plants in the actual laboratory. And not only that, the most interesting part will be after performing this experiment through virtual labs and in the physical lab, teacher can take them to the school garden and leave them in the school garden and ask them to find out that which one is a dicot plant, which one is a monocot plant, and on what basis you are saying that this is. And of course they are not allowed to pull out the plant to observe roots, but they can definitely notice the other features in which they are not harming the plant, and students will be very interested in noticing that this is the monocot plant, this is dicot plant, and I have noticed it on the basis of this particular feature. And then the next step can be that the teacher can tell that when you will go back to your home, you can find out that how many monocot plants and how many dicot plants you have at your home as well. So what we are doing, we are not only performing the experiment, but we are relating it with the surroundings. So students will be even more interested in performing this experiment, and they will never forget this.
Absolutely, and this is what NEP 2020 says all. But ma'am, one more thing, that as we have already studied about the different resources that is available on these virtual lab, but after this, once you perform this experiment on the virtual lab, what we do have further on, like the next step, what we have?
So whenever we study something, we should evaluate ourselves after that, whether we have understood it properly or not. definitely what we have right now discussed, that they can perform it in the school garden, then at home also. They are actually evaluating themselves by that. But along with that, they can further evaluate themselves through virtual labs as well. So here we have an option, that is self-evaluation. So here we have multiple questions, and you can see there are 12 questions related to this experiment. So you can answer each of them one by one and then submit it. Like, let's attempt one or two questions as limited time is available. A plant having reticulate venation in its leaves and 5 petals in its flowers is
a dicot.
Great. Then what types of roots are present in a monocot plant?
Fibrous and adventitious root.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Wow. Then which group correctly shows monocot plants?
Wheat, rice and maize.
Oh, correct. Which statement is not correct?
Only taproots have root hairs. I think the first one.
How can you answer all the questions correctly?
I'm a good student.
2 cotyledons are present in the seeds of which plant?
Gram.
Okay, great. Venation is a term used to describe the pattern of arrangement of
veins and venlets in a lamina.
Great. Let's attempt the last question because we have limited time.
Yes.
Reticulate venation is characteristic of
dicot plant.
Great. So like this you can attempt these questions. We are leaving rest of the questions for you to attempt, and then we are clicking on submit. After we clicked on submit, you can see that the tick mark is showing that we have answered correctly, but those which we did not attempt, they are showing
incorrect.
Or
because
not we have not actually attempted. So this cross mark is there, that shows either you have attempted incorrectly or you have not at all attempted. So
absolutely an interesting session on virtual lab, that how we can identify the plant, whether they are monocot or dicot. Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful session. And what is more interesting is this, that next week we'll have these virtual lab session once again. So stay tuned with us only on NCERT Official, and the time will be same, 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Okay, now what we have for you throughout this day on NCERT Official, let's take a look via schedule. Okay, so after this session, we'll meet you at 12 p.m. in the afternoon, and there we'll take class 2nd English. The topic will be fun with friends. At 2 p.m. we'll have class 7 science. The topic is a measurement of science and measurement of time and motion. At 2:30 p.m. we'll have class 7 mathematics. The topic that we're going to cover is parallel and intersecting lines part 2. At 3 p.m. we'll have class 8th Hindi subject, where we are going to cover the chapter Gauraiya. At 3:30 p.m. we'll have class 8th सोशल साइंस एंड द टॉपिक इज प्राकृतिक संसाधनों का वितरण और उनसे जुड़ी जटिलताएं, भाग 2. 4 to 5 p.m. This is our 1-hour online training program where we are going to discuss about assistive technologies, and at 5 p.m. we'll end up our day with our Sahyog session, where the topic that we're going to take up is peer pressure, making informed choices. So that's it. An important announcement for grade 4 and 7 students, that if you are still worried about your new NCERT textbook, so you don't need to be worried about the same, because you'll get your NCERT textbooks from the official website of NCERT and Amazon and Flipkart. Okay, so now it's time to take a leave. This is Nidhi Goswami signing off. All you need to do, just stay tuned with NCERT Official. Namaskar.